Profesor panggil Prof boleh ya? Prof?
Associate Professor.
Associate Prof Okey, saya panggil Sir lah. Okey,
No problem.
terima kasih kerana bersama. Saya minta pandangan Sir lah tentang saya ngurus perpustakaan. Okey. Satu buku yang kurang diminati secara jujur adalah bahasa Inggeris. Mungkin dia pegang bahasa Inggeris dengan murid-murid, tapi dia hanya dengan gambar. Okey. Jadi daripada segi dari pihak Sir lah, orang yang tinggi, pada saya tinggi capaian apa ilmunya, okey, untuk kami ni dapat mengaplikasikan supaya murid ni suka dengan bahasa Inggeris. Macam mana supaya dia, apa yang perlu kami buat? Kami sentiasa mencuba. Okay, ada fun, ada minggu bahasanya, pamer semua bahasa pertandingan, bahasa dalam bahasa Inggeris, semua kami buat. Untuk menghidupkan perpustakaan ni, saya suka budak pergi ke rak fiction bahasa Inggeris, buku-buku dia baca dan seronok, dan buat literasi dan sebagainya. Boleh saya kongsi?
This is a bit of a problem in many places, especially the rural areas, kawasan luar bandar. Sebab persekitarannya penting, environment. Jadi bila dia kurang menggunakan bahasa Inggeris ataupun ruang untuk menggunakan bahasa Inggeris itu kurang, opportunities to use English is very limited. So when you do not use the language that often, and there's a very good alternative that is Bahasa Malaysia, which comes naturally because you keep using Bahasa Malaysia in your daily lives, at home, in your neighborhood, and most of your friends speak Malay. So what is the necessity, or is there any compulsion to use English? Because you can make do with Bahasa Malaysia, you can communicate. So in that kind of scenario, you have to take extra efforts to instill this habit of reading in English. It's not going to, rarely does it happen by chance. So the school has a very important role to play because it is one of the spaces where English is taught, even in an environment where maybe outside the school gates hardly anyone speaks English, but within the school they are exposed to English starting from standard 1. We are talking about standard 1 is a starting point, right up till Form 5. So the English, the school can particularly make use of the library, because the library is a place where the student can come in and enjoy reading. So the idea is not to, when the student comes in, they must feel they are enjoying reading in English rather than doing it because they are forced to do it. There are many ways of doing this, but let me share a few things. One of the things we did was we made use of comics and cartoons. All right, like this library is very good. It's a printed material, but there are other libraries that make use of both printed material as well as YouTube. All right, they make use of the media, electronic media. So get things that are fun for them, that are interesting for them. Let them build upon that. Do not enforce something that is heavy on the cognitive load, where they have to, maybe they become tired trying to read in English. Or it's no point giving them advice like, make use of the dictionary. Maybe in one page they don't understand maybe about 60% of the words, and these are mostly content words. So the important thing is to build up from where they are, the little that they have or the English knowledge that they have, build upon that, no matter how little it is. And the other thing is, in the library, they get very good models of books. It can be tuned in to the level that they are. Get books which have a lot of other types of assistance that helps them to understand, maybe diagrams, pictures, colorful pictures, all right, with that right balance of words and pictures, which would be helpful. And at an initial stage, they can have a bilingual dictionary. Maybe the words in English can be explained in Bahasa Malaysia as an initial step. Then slowly let them understand English in English. But to encourage them, let them, for a start, use the native language. So the words in English can also be accessed in Bahasa Malaysia. Make it convenient for them. And the encouragement, a lot of this, reading for fun. Reading is an enjoyable activity. The teachers can help a lot during the English language periods. Guide them how to make use of the invaluable resources in the library. This is, I was quite amazed with what I saw within a short while in this library. Very well stocked with different kinds of materials that will cater to different interest groups. So for starters, don't push them in any particular direction. Exploit their interests. They bring something to the classroom. They have a life. What is it that the students bring into the classroom? Look into their life experiences. Provide material with which they can relate to. So the more they can relate to what is being taught in English, then the better it is for them. Later on, they can develop. We can think about the 4 seasons, for example, in Western countries. That's not really, what do you call that, a problem. But for starters, for them to understand easily, talk about the rainy weather here, the unpredictable rains, all right? Tropical climate, what it is, something nearer to home. Then you get them interested. Get popular authors, works which have been translated from Malay into English. Then they can make use of both the versions to understand better. So a lot of it will depend on the guidance from the school, because initially at least it will be a bit teacher-centric. Later on it can be student-centric. So what can they do in the library? You can have simple things, all right? For example, storytelling, very simple stories. Remember, what is important is the language. So you need not have very high sounding books. Let them get familiar with the structure of the language. Simple reading, simple readers. Then that will act as something that will encourage them to read in English. But the effort has to be conscious, at least in the beginning. We cannot leave it to chance.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Satu perkongsian yang bagus. Bila sir bercakap tu, saya dapat idea betul lah. Persekitaran. Kalau dari rumah tak cakap Inggeris, macam mana kita nak ajak dia? Cuma saya dapat idea, macam tadi saya dapat tentang ICT. Macam sakan kami, mungkin 1 minggu dalam sebulan English week. Untuk masuk library, kita kena cakap dalam bahasa Inggeris. Semua Scrabble, semua movie kita tayang dalam bahasa Inggeris. Dan dia kena buat resensi lah daripada filem dan baca buku. 1 minggu, 1 bulan. Makna benda tu kita cuba didik mereka. At least cuba bercakap. Salah pun tak apa, nanti makin lama makin tu. Itu saya nampak lah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I think you have brought up a very good point. Salah pun tak apa.
Cuba.
The worst thing that we can do is to correct them at every point.
Yes.
And when they do something, don't decorate it with red marks all over what they have done. See what is good. Encourage them. Encourage them for starting, not false praise. Encourage them. This is a good effort. You are beginning to do something. And what you want to, what do you call that, correct, of course you need some correction. Balance it a little bit. Focus on little bits that they can manage, rather than discouraging them and doing things that, you know, make them, what do you call that, demotivated. One of the reasons is they get demotivated when one of the not so good things is like making fun of them. When they write something like, you know, I are going there, you start having a good laugh at the student's expense, or telling something like such a basic thing you don't even know, you shouldn't be in the English class. I think those kind of negative remarks have to go. You have to understand that the students will try, if we create the right climate, okay, there's space in the library, put some interesting things. Play on a current event, something that is very interesting. Okay, whatever, if some sports event, like if it's a male school, for example, football matches, Malaysia Cup, you can exploit this. If you put it in English, they will definitely try to understand, because they are very interested in football. Make use of that. Okay, make those materials available in the library. What interests the student? What is it that can motivate them? Then you can slowly draw them out and motivate them to read English, and then there will come a point where you don't have to tell them, they will start reading themselves, because they will begin to see how useful it is, how good it is. Okay?